Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Core Tech Education. And what are we going to discuss today? We will discuss today about the MobaXterm tool, the SSH connections using MobaXterm tool, and as an application we will log in into an AWS EC2 Ubuntu instance with SSH connections using MobaXterm tool. So let's proceed ahead and talk about it. So this is the home screen of the MobaXterm tool. Now what is this MobaXterm tool and what is its usage and applications? We will discuss in further slides, but I just wanted to show you first the home screen of MobaXterm tool and what it shows like when you look at the MobaXterm tool or you open it in your system. On the left side, if you see, I have red marked some of the stuff which may be a prior proprietary IP addresses. I'll come to this. What are these IP addresses and what are these used for? Wherever you see these red blocks, these may be the proprietary information which I would like to have hidden in my presentation. Let's move ahead. Okay, so basically, MobaXterm tool is a tool which is kind of all-in-one workstation for remote computing. You might have done something on a remote Windows machine using the remote desktop connection, right? It is somewhat similar and it can be used for both Windows and Linux machines. So basically, it's a single application which can be used on the Windows machine and it combines all the remote network tools and terminal capabilities. IT pros call it Swiss Army knife for administration, the IT administration. If you look at the left side, it shows you the remote access protocols, what MobaXterm tool can be used for. First of all, it is SSH, which is actually secure shell, secure command line. We will talk about it in details in further slides. Let us look at the next one, which is VNC. It stands for Virtual Network Computing. It's nothing but a graphical desktop sharing system, basically to remotely control a Linux workstation. So basically, if you have a Windows system at your end and you have an Ubuntu remote machine, you can remotely control it, you can remotely update the things in it, and you can have an access to it and work on it. So basically, it is majorly used for remote technical support, which IT teams give you usually if you are working in a corporate technology teams. Apart from that, there are FTP and SFTP protocols, which are used for easy file transfers. So basically, MobaXterm gives you built-in support for file transfers also. If you look at the right side, there are mentioned some advanced built-in features. One of those is automatic SFTP browser, which means that you can drag and drop the files into the system. Basically what you are logging into using MobaXterm. Apart from that, X11 server, you can run graphical Linux apps locally in your system using MobaXterm. And it has tabbed interface. Basically, it can support multiple sessions at the same time. You can have an SSH session, you can have SFTP, VNC all together at the same time and different tabs. So it is very easy to use for the developers. The last mentioned here is multi-execution. If you want to give a command to all the machines or instances at the same time, it is possible using MobaXterm. I have also given here the differences between PuTTY. The PuTTY is a commonly used tools in IT and embedded technology systems. So if you might have used PuTTY, you may be knowing about it, and I have mentioned here the differences between PuTTY and MobaXterm. This is not in the scope of our subject to discuss here, but I have given here in case it can help you further. We can go to next slide. Before we move ahead to the application and the usage of SSH using MobaXterm, let us talk about a little bit about the SSH. What is this SSH? SSH, it stands for Secure Shell, and some guys call it Secure Command Line. What it is used for? Basically, it is used for remote server management. So for example, you are working on a Windows machine, right? And you have different servers which are based on Linux, different Ubuntu versions or releases. So there you can have secure command line logins, system configurations, and you can update you can update the applications inside that system using the secure command line facility of SSH. Next can be mentioned is the data encryption and security. So basically, whenever you are transferring the data using SSH, it is completely encrypted and it is known as symmetric encryption. You basically have keys to connect using SSH, and that is known as asymmetric encryption. It prevents the attacks, the cyber attacks, MITM, eavesdropping, because it is completely secure because of the security keys you have. Next is mentioned here the secure file transfer. So whenever you are transferring the content or the data from your PC, which I can say the client PC, towards the remote servers, it is completely encrypted, and that's why it is considered as the safest thing. SFTP, you already know, Secure File Transfer Protocol. SCP, Secure Copy, Encrypted Data Movement. Everything is an integral part of SSH. The last thing I mentioned here is the automatic tasks and tunneling. Whenever you are having the scheduled backups or port forwarding, it is completely secure because SSH is actually considered as a secure option. Why SSH is important, it is completely clear here. When you do anything or process the old plain text data, it is completely unsecure, it is completely unencrypted. But when you use SSH, it is completely secure and your traffic is completely encrypted, right? And that's where the SSH is considered as a very important protocol to be used when you work on different servers, you work on different remote machines. Those machines can be Ubuntu machines, and they can have different operating system versions also. Let's move ahead. When we talk about SSH, we should talk about first the .pem file. PEM stands for Privacy Enhanced Mail. It is basically a kind of a private key file. If you open a .pem file in Notepad, it will show something like this, which is visible in the book kind of pattern here. So basically it is an encoded text-based key. If you open it in Notepad, it will show something like this, some text which will be visible like some encoded content. It is basically a physical key which your servers understand to open their locks for you. If you look at the section 2, why to use it? Basically, why to use the key-based authentication? Why to use .pem files? It is completely immune to the cyber attacks, the password knowing attacks. If some hacker is trying to indulge into your passwords and all, it will completely make it secure because it is completely a private key which is encrypted, kind of encoded. If you look at the B, it is talking about the higher security and automation. Whenever you log in into the remote machine using MobaXterm, which has been set up with .pem file, it will be completely automated and it will completely understand that this is permitted. This user is permitted to log into. If you look at the section 3, how it works. So basically your computer has a private key which should never be shared, and then your remote servers have some public key. That is fine, that public key can be seen by anyone. Now when you give this private key towards the server, this creates a connection, a secure connection. Basically we call it challenge response authentication in our technical terms, And this is the public and private key pair processing which is happening here. Now we are in a good position to start our application with MobaXterm. So if you look at this screen here, it shows you the MobaXterm, the part of the screen which actually shows you, which will keep you focused on what we are trying to do. So we see a tab with name session on the MobaXterm, and we are trying to create a session now. You can click on this session tab. When you clicked on the session tab in the previous slide which I showed you, some screen will open which will look like this. So here if you see, it has listed all the protocols which can be used with MobaXterm, and our application, our scope of discussion will be revolved around the SSH. So you will click on the SSH and will proceed further. Once you have clicked on the SSH tab, it will automatically open the screen like this, in which it will ask you for the remote host IP address and the username. So basically, if you look at this IP address 99.999 and so on, this is kind of an example IP address. You can use the actual IP address of your remote machine in this. You have to click the checklist of specify username so that when you log in into your remote machine, it doesn't have to ask or know about the username again and again. Now, if you look at this username, I have mentioned here Ubuntu. Basically, by default, the username of Ubuntu Remote Machines is nothing but just Ubuntu. Uh, Before you click and you name the username here, you should know what is the username of your remote machines. Some proprietary machines of the organizations may have different usernames, but by default, Ubuntu is the name which is used on remote machines, Ubuntu remote machines, and that's what I have used here to kind of demonstrate. Next, you have to click on the advanced SSH settings because we have to set it up with .pem file, which is the private key, what we have. When you have clicked on the advanced SSH settings, it will show you the option to checklist the private key option, and it will show you the icon here, the file icon, if you see, where you have to browse for the private key on your system. When you browse for your private key in your system, you will find a .pem file in your system, which should show something like this. So the name I have given right now, it's a sample PEM file, but this can be related. The name can be related to your organization, can be related to your projects, can be related to your specific application, but it shows something like this .pem file. So I have brought the PEM file into this, and we have to click OK, and I'll show you next. When you clicked on OK, as in the previous slide, it will log you into the remote machine, in which at the top it will show you the IP address, which I have kind of hidden here. These IP addresses should not be made public, basically. Then it gives you a banner message from server. I have hidden this also because the banner message can be specific to your organization. It can be specific to the remote machines. It can be specific to your projects, your applications, and your security policies. Next, it shows you authenticating with public key, where there is again a public key, kind of a message here, or kind of a categorized text here, which again can be specific to your your specific applications or the projects in some cases, not always. Next, it confirm to the SSH session to Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the username. If you look at the @ here, after this, the IP address should be visible. And it shows you welcome to the Ubuntu this. So basically the Ubuntu version, release version, it is telling you about that. Now close the complete session and come back again to the MobaXterm, and on the left side panel it will show you the IP address which you had connected and the username in brackets, which is Ubuntu mentioned here. So this time if you double click on this where the arrow goes, if you double click on this, it will automatically log you into that remote machine. And actually that's all I had for you today. Thanks a lot for watching this. In case you like the video, you can like it, comment on it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Apart from that, one request: if you want any video on any topic, you can give me the topics in the comments. I'm eagerly waiting for the topics to know so that I can make more videos on those topics which can be helpful to the viewers. Thank you. Thanks a lot.